It's Jackie here from the LGFA and smiling faces already. I know we're going to have a bit of fun with this one. I'm joined by the famous O'Donnell twins from Crossmaglen and Armagh, Alma and Bronagh. Stellar careers they enjoyed with clubs, plural, and county down through the years. And some really, really interesting background stories on the ladies as well. Just chatting before we started recording here. Alma, correct me if I'm right on this. Neurophysiology is your
You got
chosen,
it in one. Yeah.
and Bronagh is an audiologist. So really, really impressive lines of work. And I'd like to find out a little bit more about all of that as well. Ladies, you're very welcome along. We are
Thanks, Jackie.
recording on an evening time at 8:30, so I appreciate your time. Alma, how are you doing? All good?
All good. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're surviving on a coffee. Are you a coffee drinker, Alma?
I am a coffee drinker, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
honestly,
Surviving on coffee and a bit of broken sleep.
you've had a new addition to the family in recent times, Alma.
I have, yeah, I have a 4-month old who's easier to put down than my 3-year-old, but they're both safely in bed for the moment. Yeah.
Good. It is like that. I hear you. I hear you absolutely. Brona, how are you? Good to see you as well. We had you in
Good, Jackie.
the
Yeah,
office not so long ago. It seems like a lifetime ago now
right.
with
Yeah,
COVID and all of this lockdown stuff that we're going through. How's life with you, Brona?
that's fine. It's good. Yeah, working away, trying to get back to a bit of normal. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Good, good, good. You both are twins. Okay. So
Right.
who came first?
I did. I'm the eldest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
But
used to be a good thing we were growing up, but I think as we got older, it became less of a good thing.
so what was the difference? Was there? It was minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Five
Wow.
minutes.
yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
And
unbelievable. I like to
Rory
start
used to
right.
say I'm 5 minutes older, and now I can say I'm 5 minutes younger. So,
Yeah.
Great. I like to start right at the beginning of any interview and background piece with people. So I mean, you can't get any earlier than that, ladies. So tell me a little bit about life growing up and the family environment, and maybe that first introduction to sport, or where the interest in sport stemmed from in the family. Where did it come from, Brona?
Well, I suppose we have an older brother who is 13 months older than us. So, growing up, I suppose we were into everything that he was into. So yeah, my kind of memories are just playing football in the back garden. So because there was three of us, it used to be 1-on-1, and then one would be a goalie. And I think it was if you scored 3 goals, you had to go into goals, and there was a change. And they got they were quite competitive.
yeah.
Ronan's our brother. He never really gave us an inch, so we had to be, I suppose, kind of strong going up against him. But so that was the start of it. I don't think there was actually no football in Cross when we were growing up, so we played camogie. And it was just a thing whereby you turned 7 and you got to go to training up at the club, and everyone in the town did that. So I think we always, well, I don't know about you, Alan, but I would have always looked over at the boys playing football and go, oh, I'd love to play that. But we just played it at home. And then we were teenagers, I think, late teenagers, before we actually started to play it competitively.
Okay.
In secondary school.
Alma, what was life like in Crossmaglen growing up?
Um, well, I think that to our parents' credit, we were pretty sheltered from a lot of the troubles that were going on. I remember one of my first memories when I went to Belfast and we went to college, that I realized, oh, there's Protestants and Catholics, and that they're not meant to get on. Like, obviously we knew there was Protestants and Catholics, but you know, our neighbor, next door neighbor down the road, he's a Protestant. He's one of our good mates, and it wasn't until I went to Belfast that I began to see that kind of sectarian divide. But in saying that, there definitely was always a military presence. The soldiers, the police were always walking the streets of the town. We live a little bit out of the country, and across the road from us, a couple of big fields, and there's constantly helicopters landing there and taking
Mm.
off, and you'd see, a troop of army getting off and walking down the road doing their patrol. Or I always remember, it was excitement. Oh, there's a Chinook coming, the one with the double blades, and we'd all run out of the house to see the Chinook coming. But yeah, and there were definitely, like, my our granny owned a pub in the town, and that was bombed. And I remember getting under the table in primary school, you know, when a bomb had gone off up the town. So there definitely was that, but it was, like, dare I say, kind of not normality, but you know, it wasn't. It was life. That was just what we were used to, I suppose. And as I say, our parents definitely sheltered us a lot from kind of a lot of the anger and stuff that was projected towards, you know, people of other religions, and we definitely never had a sense of that growing up.
Okay, because Bronagh, you were kids at the same time, and Alma makes the point that your parents were trying to shelter you from all this, so there was a certain innocence about it as well. When you moved forward in life and maybe learned a little bit more about what was happening in your area, how did you feel, or how did that make you feel?
I mean, it was always the thing whereby, oh, you're from Cross. Oh, you know, people would be like, they didn't know whether they should be afraid of you or afraid for you, I suppose.
Okay.
So I suppose as we went throughout the world, and it used to not necessarily be a good thing to be from Crossmaglen, because it just had the troubles associated with it. And I think as the men, like our club team, the men went on and and won all their All-Irelands, it meant so much to the town, because it gave the town something to be proud of, that you know, you could say, oh yeah, I'm from Crossmaglen, people go, wow, you have a great football team. So I think that really helped in us going out in the world, that, you know, when you mentioned where you were from, that it didn't just bring with it a weight of, oh, you know, the other person be sizing you up to know, you know, what were your political thoughts, and you know, all of that. Especially, you know, we both went to college in Belfast and lived up there for a while, so it's very hard to I suppose hide our accent. So, you know, you come across in work and in life, you come across, you know, people from both sides. And you know, I do remember thinking, it's like, oh, you kind of say, oh, I'm from Crossmaglen, kind of sheepishly, I think, a little bit, because you didn't want them to, I suppose, associate things with you that maybe weren't true, or that they would, have a reaction. So it definitely had an impact, I think, and probably I'd say we probably didn't realize it at the time, exactly what it was, but yeah.
Okay, so moving on in life, and it wasn't, you know, you were still young when there was a move to Melbourne when you were 9 years old. What was the background to that, ladies, and how did that come about?
Well, my mum's or our mum's sister had emigrated a few years before that, and she emigrated to Melbourne, and she had said to my mum and dad, come out here, it's great, it's a great lifestyle for you, for the kids. And I think my parents naturally had a sense of adventure, and they wanted to see what it was all about, and, you know, to do something different. And I'm sure, you know, the troubles had something to do with their decision. They probably thought maybe we should, you know, get the kids out of this and, you know, see what life is like over there. So yeah, we all up sticks, and the five of us, and headed over to Melbourne to my aunt, and she was there with her husband and two kids. So yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Okay,
You know,
you remember it well, Alma?
oh, absolutely, yeah. Remember the day we all like rocked up to Dublin Airport first time on a flight in our shell suit tracksuits.
What a way to make your flying debut.
Yeah, God, it was amazing. Yeah, we all headed off. But I remember actually the members from the club coming out, a couple of girls from our camogie team and our camogie mentor, and my brother's kind of football mentor, and a couple of fellas from his team came out and give us some hurls and slitters and footballs and jerseys to take with us, you know, not to forget kind of our roots. And I remember saying goodbye to all our friends who, you know, while it was a sense of adventure, it was, you know, we were kind of leaving a life behind.
Do you remember when we were, so because they came last minute and we had everything all packed, so like the hurls had to come on the plane with us.
Was there drama?
In Singapore or something, and we're like, what is this? As if it was like a weapon.
Weapons.
The Irish community there, do you remember Bronagh, the wider Irish community, and how you immersed yourselves in it. Was that a big part of the settling in process there?
Yeah, it was. So obviously, like our auntie was there and her family, but they wouldn't have necessarily been big into GA. And so I can remember our we spent many of the Sunday in Gaelic Park. It's quite a long drive out of the city, so like the car would be packed up for the day, and everyone would go out. And my dad, who like hadn't played football for years, he played for Geelong, which is kind of another, I don't know if it's a city, but it's a big town outside of Melbourne. Because another man that he knew from Cross was living there and playing with them. But so yeah, he got to that, and there was lots of underage. Actually, I think probably
Just the first match of football that we, like competitive football, we ever played was in Gaelic Park on St. Patrick's Day. It was a mixed with the boys, and we were like running all over the place. Yeah.
They're very vivid memories for you guys. You can still, you've got a great recollection of those
absolutely.
times.
Yeah,
definitely.
Good. I can remember. Yeah.
I think we were at the right age too to really enjoy it and experience it, and it's such like an outdoor sporty kind of lifestyle. And sure, the three of us just loved that. We played like a lot of basketball. Actually, we did a lot of cross country running and stuff. My brother played loads of soccer, and it was really good. We were outside all the time.
And how long did you stay in Melbourne then?
We were there for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what was the Crossmaglen that you left compared to the Crossmaglen that you found when you came back home? Can you recall, or can you compare?
I think so. When we came home, so our house was like leased out, and we ended up coming home maybe slightly sooner than planned.
Okay.
So we ended up living in Carnacon,
Okay.
where my mom's from. So her brother had a house that we kind of stayed in for a year, and then we came back to Cross. But we had already started school in Carnacon, and our parents just thought we'd moved schools too many times, and they didn't want to disrupt us enough. So we ended up staying in school in Carrick, and living back in Cross. And I think that, I don't know, I think it might have been, it was kind of hard to fit back into Cross. I don't necessarily know what you think, Alma, but it's almost as if, we had our old friends who were like always really good, kept in contact with us, and we're still, good friends with them now. But they went to different schools now, and we had our friends in school, and it was, I think it was a bit difficult to fit back in. Now we can still played camogie at the time, and my brother played football and that, but I don't know. I think it was, I thought it very different, and I found it kind of hard to find my place in it, I suppose, again. We're probably kind of coming into teenage years, and all of that stuff's happening anyway, so it's quite changed. But yeah, I think I find it hard to appreciate. I don't know, if I think back now, I don't know if I could tell you what Cross was like, as well as what I could have told you like now, like in later years or before we went. So yeah, I think it took a while to settle back in.
Would you agree, Alma? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it was. It was almost a little bit of an unknown, and that because we were going to school in Cork, and we didn't spend as much time back across, kind of immerse ourselves back into it. And I definitely, I don't know if you feel that, Bron, but there was definitely always felt there was a big chunk that we missed then. Like that, those 3 years were definitely missing, and kind of I felt that through our teenage lives, but probably because we had a split life between Cross and Carrick, and we played basketball in Carrick, and we had our school friends there, and then we kind of played camogie, so we knew the camogie girls there, but nobody outside of that kind of camogie team really, because we just weren't there.
So you're going through your teenage years, and obviously their study in secondary school and that. You were obviously both good students, I take it.
We
All
were
right.
very quiet girls. Yeah.
You're too modest, too modest. So the time came then, obviously, to leave secondary school and to move to. So you went to Jordanstown, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so Bronagh, what were you studying in? What was your chosen field? When you moved to college?
So we both actually did the same college course.
Okay.
So we did a course called clinical physiology, and Tony McAtee, who's a great footballer from
Yes.
Cork, he was doing it, and I remember I was kind of maybe chatting to him one day. He's like, "Oh, you should do this," because I think I thought I wanted to do like physio or something like that. And he had said that by doing this course that you have the option of 4 or 5 different kind of slightly medical-ish professions, and that it had a good variety in it. So Tony's a really good salesman, so he sold it very well, and the both of us ended up doing it. And it was a really good course. I think it has set us both in good stead, I think.
Yeah.
So where did the divergence into your ultimate careers happen, Alma?
Well, so in the degree you do kind of first 2 years are the general kind of physiology, and as Rona mentioned, like the different subspecialties, and then in third year you decide what you want to specialize in,
Okay.
and then you did placement, like a prolonged placement, and then your final year. Um, I always found the neurophysiology side of it very interesting, and a lot of the college stuff was about the physiology of sleep and stuff, and I just find that totally fascinating. And so I kind of knew from the end of the first year that that's what I wanted to do. Um, I wonder, was there probably also like a slight thing, is like it's time for us to part our ways here, so we were probably always going to choose a different subspecialty. I don't know what you think of that, Brona, but
Yeah, I would
I
agree.
kind of think, yeah, I think we got slagged enough about like, oh, you used to sit in each other's pockets again.
You were joined at the hip, obviously. You're so
We were
so
holding
close.
hands all
Yeah.
through life. Yeah, exactly.
Not literally.
And so, but Brona, so
Yeah.
um, I'm kind of bouncing around here because there's so many different topics to touch on. But football then in college and Jordanstown, what are your memories of that, Brona?
I think that we both, I'm sure Alan would agree with me that I think we both kind of found ourselves in college through football, and found like met some amazing friends. And I don't know, like I kind of really felt at home, like that the people were kind of the people that I wanted to be hanging around with, and that you have really good crack with, but they also kind of had that competitive streak, and they wanted to kind of, you know, work hard and play hard. And yeah, I really enjoyed my time at Jordanstown, and football was a huge part of it. Um, Belfast's a really good kind of university town, because most of the students stay in maybe like an area of like 10 different streets all together. So it's a really good student vibe. And yeah, I met some of the best people. I think that it was probably, we started to play football, I suppose, competitively in, was it maybe fifth year in school, Alma? Around that, fifth,
Yeah, I
sixth
think,
year.
yeah.
And so when we went to college, I kind of felt like, oh, I don't really play football, but I'm not sure. And I didn't want to play camogie because I liked football. And I think it was just then that it kind of took off, that yeah, I really kind of enjoyed it, and got into it, and met some really great people.
So the were you on Armagh panels at this time, or when did that link up with with the Armagh panel come about, Alma? Was that in college or was it later, or what was the timelines there?
I think that it was our first year in college that we played. I think we'd maybe done first year, Brona. Had we?
Yeah,
Oh
I think
God,
it
my
was the
memory is
summer
this.
after first year that
Yeah,
we played.
we
Yeah.
played with we joined the Cross. So Cross had set up a team maybe about 4 years before that. But we were kind of playing basketball at school. We were playing camogie. We kind of didn't really have time. And then I remember in kind of fifth year in our secondary school, started up a ladies football team, and we played about 2 or 3 matches. Like they liked Vidal Byrne and that were playing, and Monaghan was riding high. So that was kind of like our first introduction, I think, to kind of competitive ladies football. Then we played with Cross when we were in final year, I think, in sixth year. And from that, then I think we did a trial or two. I'm sure there wasn't too many trials for Armagh at that time. I think it was just you got a call if there was anybody around. If you wanted to play with them, you got on. But I think it was then after, we kind of had that first year in college, and towards the end of that first year, we were kind of playing competitively with Jordanstown, and as Bronagh said, everything just kind of fell into place, and then we played our first match with Armagh. I think we were trying to talk about this earlier. I think it was against Cavan in the championship. We were beat, and there was just like a good. Everybody kind of tried their best, and then we went and had a bit of crack after the match, and just thought, like getting bored with this. That it was, it was an enjoyable day.
But there was
enjoyable match.
You had so many enjoyable days with Armagh, ladies. But I guess to condense it, you'll probably be remembered for winning the All-Ireland Junior in 2005, Bronagh winning an All-Star, and Armagh in 2006 as well. Went from a Junior All-Ireland final the year before to a Senior All-Ireland final within 12 months, which is a quite incredible achievement. 2005, Bronagh, we've chatted about it before. How big a moment was that in terms of Armagh's footballing development to break through that ceiling and win that All-Ireland Junior title?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really important. I think that we had, kind of like the bones of a really good team for a few years before that. And I think in 2005 there was like one or two kind of younger players who came on who like really kind of bolstered the team, and we were, I don't know, like, it was really good managers. We had a really good vibe in the team. People just enjoyed playing and really wanted to play well, and kind of got the taste for winning and thought, oh, actually we're really good. I remember, like, we didn't really think that we were that good, or didn't realize kind of how good we were. There was a lot of modesty, I suppose, within the team at that stage. And I don't know about you, but I remember we had some, like, a training camp thing before the start of maybe the Ulster Championship that year, and we had like Dublin in like a challenge match, and it probably wasn't our full team, but they were playing senior at the time, and we got beat, but we did pretty well. And I remember thinking, wow, that's, I don't know if, was that a bit of a shocker, or is that, a one-off? But I think everything kind of came together. And yeah, I don't know, it just seemed like a very special time, that everyone wanted to be there. Everyone just wanted the team to win. It didn't seem like, there was no kind of, getting any awards or kind of anything like that. Didn't even exist. It was like, okay, let's see if we can win, was the ethos, I think, of it. And I think that was really kind of refreshing, and it stayed in our kind of helped us along. We trained very hard. We had really good managers, I have to say. We did a lot of training, but it was incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah, and Alma, to watch Bronagh as captain, then to lift the trophy, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's amazing to see your sister up there, just like in that kind of the famous spot in Croke Park, lifting the cup. I think it was probably relief after the final whistle went that time against Sligo, because we nearly kicked ourselves out of it. But after the relief, it was just like, I remember the crowds coming onto the pitch, and like, you felt like you were a superstar. Everybody pulling, like your family members pulling, everybody wanting to congratulate you, and then just Bronagh standing up there giving the speech. It's amazing. It's just one of those pinch yourself moments.
Stuff of dreams. And on to 2006 then, and there you are back in Croke Park for an All-Ireland final. Bronagh, there was a little bit of controversy in the semi-final, you'd recall, against Galway. You knew I was going to bring this up. What were your memories of that, and how did it affect your mindset maybe going into the final then?
Well, I suppose so we didn't really know anything about it until I think it was maybe on the bus home, or maybe someone had mentioned it in the changing rooms afterwards. Because I think Charlotte Burns, who's from Armagh, and he would do some work with TG4, and he had said, oh, apparently there was a point that wasn't a point, and this kind of filtered down into us. But so I remember on the bus going, oh God, what's going to happen? Because we were, I mean, like there was like
pretty happy.
Oh gosh,
that was like one of the best. Like, I think we played so well that day. The feeling was amazing. Like, we never I actually remember after the Junior All-Ireland, and we did, you know, a few days or a week or so of, you know, celebrating, and I remember when things all died down, I was like, oh God, we're never getting anywhere near that again, because we're now this small kind of fish in this big pond. And I was like, oh, I was really disappointed. And so I don't know about you, Alma, but like, I never even dreamed that would be the case. But we just kept winning our next match, and we kept winning our next match. And I think that day in Galway, we were like so well prepared. Or actually it was in Roscommon, wasn't it? We were playing Galway, but like, it was almost as if like our managers had done loads of kind of video analysis and stuff, and they said, oh, this is how they play in this situation, this is how they play in this situation. So I don't know, it just felt like we almost knew what they were going to do before they did it. So to come from that complete excitement going, oh my God, we're going back to where we were last year, to this, oh, maybe we're not, and they're this big team, and we're only Armagh, and, you know, this is probably all going to fall down around us. And I remember during the week after that, someone phoned me from like, probably some PR from Croke Park, and I was like, oh yeah, but we don't know about prepping for the match. And I was like, oh yeah, but I don't know if we're going to be there for the whole point that wasn't a point. And I remember him saying, absolutely not, there's no way that the decision is going to be overturned. So I think I kind of relaxed after that, but I got a bit kind of stressed, I think.
And I'm like, it wasn't a case that like that was the great Cork team that obviously came up against in the final, who were about to embark on you know, they'd won it in 2005 obviously, but were about to embark on an incredible run of success. But you more than held your own in that final, and I'm sure you look back and think, you know what, another day we could have come out of there with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, like, it was a great match. I think both teams, you know, played well. We like, as one said, for all our matches that year, like, we were well prepared. We were riding high. I mean, we thought we were unstoppable, but like in a folk, so we weren't like losing the fun of ourselves, but we were like, everything seems to be falling into place here. You know, there's no reason why we can't do this. You know, I think we played them in the league that year earlier. I'm not sure if we beat them, but they maybe beat us by a couple of points. But we knew, you know, we weren't going to get trounced anyhow. And we were back where we were. It wasn't our first time in Croke Park. We'd been there the year before. We'd won there, and we had worked really, really hard. We knew we were flying fit, and that if, you know, we could play to our strengths, that we could beat them. And we almost did.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, when you look back, yeah, there's always kind of, oh, should have got a whatever. But you know, Cork are an amazing team. When you look back on it, you know, to be beaten by Cork that day, like, it was it wasn't. There's no shame in being beat by an amazing team. So
absolutely, and it wasn't the last time you played an All-Ireland final either, because, and I'm going to fast forward again a little bit. So you decided to move to Dublin. So what was the thinking behind that one, ladies? I'll give that back to you, Bronagh. I'll give a nice swift pass over in your direction with that one.
So yeah, I mean, I suppose we were both not, at that point, living in Dublin.
Sure.
Still are, and Alma had travelled home for training for quite a few years at that stage, hadn't you?
Yeah,
I think,
it's about 4 or 5 years.
Serious commitment. Yeah.
And I think at that stage we had retired from Armagh for a couple of years, and were just playing for the club. And you know, the club probably just went through, you know, a tough enough year, and we'd travel home for training. There might be 2 or 3 other people there, and they might decide to train, they might decide not to train. And you know, I think that kind of maybe wore us down, that was like, oh, actually, we're not necessarily, I think it's maybe time just to hang up the boots. And that's what it was. And we told everyone across, look, you know, we've had an amazing time and we've done so much, and we love Cross, and we're just gonna kind of hang up the boots. And there was never any intention to play for a team in Dublin. But yeah, I think we just missed it. I don't know about you, but I think I kind of like missed a bit of probably wasn't ready to give up, but probably couldn't, you know, find the energy, I suppose, to travel home for maybe when things weren't going well. And not that we need to be winning, but it was for people to be there when we got home. But yeah, it just kind of happened out of that. And we knew a couple of the girls who played with Na Fianna, and they've been probably pestering us for a couple of years. And we decided that we would give it a shot. And yeah, we had a couple of great years there. I met, you know, we both met some really good friends. It was great from a social aspect, and, you know, really good quality football. And yeah, I didn't imagine that we would get that, or that it would be the way it was, but we did really well.
Yeah, it was 2011, Alma, wasn't it, against Carnacon? You ended up in an All-Ireland final. What are your memories of that one?
Ballyman, I remember it being a tough match. The elements weren't great either. I remember it was really, really kind of tough wind down one end of the pitch. It was freezing, and yes, I just remember being a really, really tough match. And we didn't particularly get out of the starting blocks too well. And I think we came away from that game with regrets that we didn't play to our best ability. But, you know, like, we probably weren't let play. Carnacon were amazing. They were just far stronger than us on the day.
Okay. Yeah. Folks, we have a couple of minutes left on the call. Bronagh, I just want to ask, you're obviously still incredibly close. What's it been like trying to keep in touch lately? Look, obviously the restrictions are what they are, but, you know, your family, you can see each other. Do you still see each other often, or what's the relationship like now?
Yeah, we still see each other very often. So we're like current at the minute. So Alma currently lives about 5 minutes from where I work. So because she's on maternity leave, and she might take a walk up to the local park with the boys. So I try and we might meet up for a socially distant walk at lunchtimes. You know, at least we try and do that maybe once a week. So
yeah, probably more.
Yeah. So I mean, we're still very close. We still spend, you know, we're friends. We kind of
friends, absolutely.
By the restrictions, we socialize together, and so we are still very close, and it's been a great relationship. I think, well, I've been very lucky. I'm sure Alma would agree that it has been very good to have. I don't know, like, I trust her 100% kind of on the pitch, and yeah, I suppose I always kind of think that playing when she wasn't on the pitch was, I don't know, it just wasn't the same. Probably harder for me because she did a lot of the covering work. So, but it was, yeah.
No, it's incredible, because the bond that you have, I can, you know, we're on a virtual call obviously, but I can sense it, and I can almost see it. It's an incredibly lovely thing, I have to say. I could chat to you for hours, I really could, and I think we need a part 2 on this one. I really, really do. So we might catch up again real soon, ladies, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
But my very, very special guests, and I'd like to thank them for coming on at this hour of the evening, Alma O'Donnell and Bronagh O'Donnell, the legendary Armagh twins. Ladies, great having you on, and let's do part 2 real soon.
We will. Okay.
Sounds good.